Hello there. This is Final Fantasy XIV, the game that you might have heard of spiraling about because of a gremlin who makes pizzas with a side of cobwebs.
I didn't know!
Never change, King. A monthly scheduled pay, MMORPG. Open world? Kinda. Why do I keep asking if it is or isn't open world? A game that caters to nearly every single player, from hardcore content, casual exploration, role-playing, crafting, and starting drama because of a fucking piece of furniture. I'm not kidding. Final Fantasy XIV is a game where you play as John Fantasy, or whatever unoriginal character you can create, while selecting a variety of different classes to take into content that includes, but is not limited to, suicidal folks, edgy fucks, and daddy can step on me and I still won't get out of my ley line. Having a handful amount of customization for available races, glamour options, and reasons you should probably break the game's TOS. Motherfuckers can literally play tic-tac-toe on my forehead. Prog through intense fights only to get doo-doo dog shit rolls for your best in slot. Take screenshots of your characters to emphasize your power fantasy of any kind. I really meant that. Have you ever wanted to play a potato with the potential to kill gods? Or a cat girl that has been fucked by every single person's eye? Then this game is for you. Being able to roleplay, participate in difficult content, and
suffering through roulettes.
Design your character to be an absolute badass or a hooker down Broadway Street. Create a furry with a color palette of strawberry milkshake. Play a class that's weapons are literal kitchen knives, or bigger than your entire being. Be a nuisance to people you believe to be your friends. Support factions that are literally hell itself to get some fuck-ass mount that shows off your panties. Play through the main story quest that'll make you cry like a little bitch. And if you don't cry, then get flamed by the community? Have you ever struggled in making a purchase? You're about to. There is a Square Enix version of the game, a Steam version of the game, and a console version of the game. The Square Enix and Steam version are both on PC, but are both incompatible with each other because they are like my divorced parents. So if you make a Steam account, don't buy Final Fantasy from Square Enix's website. No wonder they had to introduce the free trial. Alright. Welcome to the game. Before anything, you need to choose what kind of character you want to be. Whether it is a projection of who you are, or making a more attractive version of yourself, or creating a character that you want to fuck. Respectfully. You have the option of starting with 1 out of 9 jobs, but don't worry, you have the ability to use all 19 jobs in this game, so don't think about having a main just yet. Each job will show you which capital city you start in. Ul'dah is a city that is filled with STDs and people who are horny for Gil. Limsa Lominsa is the city where the Me Too movement began, and Gridania is, well, Gridania. Each capital city has a shithole called a Grand Company, which system isn't even complete yet. Can you imagine that? Neither can I. So, like its unfinished ass, you turn away to do what everyone should do. Here you will bear witness to incredible voice acting, as if I can do any better, and the desire to go 0-1 IRL because of the amount of filler quests you have to do. But don't worry, you'll finish it. Eventually. But at times that you're not being a nerd, reading quote after quote, you are fighting some of the baddest motherfuckers out there. Ooh. I'll be keeping this. But it's time to know how to fight them. You have a select choice of 3 different roles: tank, healer, and damage dealer. This attracts damage, this negates damage, and this complains about everything. Whatever job you play, dealing damage is your biggest priority, but so is surviving. So tanks will mitigate, healers will heal, and damage dealers will try to do anything in their power to not be an ailment to the party. If you want a summary for every job in the game, here it is. Tanks are basically the chonkers of the group that grab the boss's attention. Paladin, sword and shield at hand while having good sustain, range, and utility.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Warrior, the axe-wielding barbarian that depends on no healer, having the strongest sustain in the game and being hella friendly to people who have shit ping. Dark Knight, with a big fucking sword by their side, they are one of the least complex jobs in the roster. Having lots of OGCD spells in their arsenal, they can keep things interesting for how simple their kit actually is. Gunbreaker, a gun sword to slash and blast their enemies, gunbreakers are the most fun jobs to play, with lots of combos to dish out while having great mitigations besides. Healers are those caring mothers that will try to tend to every child that is in the party, including their co-healer. White Mage, the staff-wielding simplistic healer that has strong heals that depends on people with good reactionary skills. Scholar, the nerds who carry a book in combat, they get support from their pixie friend while being able to heal and damage. Astrologian, carrying a fucking ball sack with cards, these guys have the ability to flex between health regeneration and shield, so they are never the odd one out, throwing cards to people to give them a certain buff, whether it is damage or mitigations. Sage, having whatever these things are, they are the turrets that heal with the damage they deal, being able to throw out many spells at a time with a plethora of OGCDs in their arsenal. Melee DPS, the guys that complain because the boss turned and they missed the positional. What the fuck? Dragoon, beholden to a tip and a spear behind it. These guys use many OGCDs in combination with their rigid, albeit simple combo system. Monk, using their bare hands for a good fisting. These guys are complex with their need for positionals, but having a free-form combo system that makes them more fluid than other jobs. Ninja, wielding daggers in the shadows, these guys have a relatively simple 3-step combo system, but they can be a pain in the ass for those who have shit ping. Samurai, carrying Nippon steel by their side, these weebs are pretty brain dead in terms of lining up their combos while following a simple rotation, but are named difficult because all their buttons are Japanese linguistics. Reaper, the edgelords that wield a scythe in hand and avoid send besides, the more simple job to play that revolves around simply pressing 3 buttons till your gauge is filled. Physical ranged DPS, the guys that are extremely inconsistent, being able to be the best of the best or worst of the worst, kinda like their job. Bard, carrying a bow and arrow, these guys are a literal walking casino, but it is a job that has 2 dots to keep their damage going, but these guys are very inconsistent with their output, but they can give a ton of support to compensate for their inconsistency. Machinist, being tech savvy and slightly American with a
Fucking gun.
these guys have a simple 3-hit combo punctuated by moments of high activity, but they need a lot of finger work and good internet. Dancer, carrying chakrams in both hands, you give your highest damaging DPS a DP to upscale their potential damage while being the most adored support DPS in the game, being very straightforward and leaving space for optimization. Caster DPS, the guys that can only move via a wheelchair because they need to stand still majority of the times. Black Mage, a hard-hitting albeit tough job to play if you struggle to stand still. You need to know the fights like the back of your hand to know when to play risky and when not to bite the bullet. Summoner, carrying a book to summon the big primals of the world, you become the most simplistic job that you can play in this game by simply clicking on the shiny buttons showing on your hotbar. Red Mage, wielding a rapier and orb thingy, these guys mix style with a wacky arsenal that makes them fun to play, mixing ranged focus DPS into melee focus DPS, supported with an incredible passive that makes resurrecting your incompetent allies all the better. Blue Mage. What the fuck is Blue Mage? So after you choose whichever job you have in mind, it's time to take them to hard content, where you will wipe again and again.
Ejaculation.
For fuck's sake. Before giving up, disbanding, and blacklisting every motherfucker that dared to join your lobby. Alright, time to cool down. Maybe you should try to enjoy something that actually takes your mind off things. Welcome to the Golden Saucer, the place where gambling doesn't feel as bad as rolling for an item piece. Here you will learn distrust, hatred for the developers, and abuse from this one NPC where you plow him in a game of triple triad to finish your weekly challenge log.
3 little words. Get fucked, nerd.
Say Kobe every single time you miss your shot in this god-awful minigame.
Nice cock.
Get cucked by RNG. And keep earning MGPs, the currency of the Golden Saucer that stands for get just enough to buy mounts that are holy fuck. So you say fuck it, move on to you do your daily roulettes to either level up your alternate jobs or farm these fuck ass tomes to get glamour, materials that cost more than your liver, or best in slots that are acquired outside of raiding. Piece of shit. Run around neighborhoods to find a plot only to see it's hella expensive for your bitch ass. But after you finally earn the money, immediately lose it all after you realize that housing in this game is the only thing that isn't a fantasy, but a soul-crushing reality. So you accept your fate, become a slave creating cheese only to get undercut by some very nice person. And if some materials are too expensive, then it is time to run around the nodes and farm them again
and again.
But oh flippers, you didn't level up any gatherers or crafters. I guess it's time to be a Lamenson slut, where you stand around AFK in your most
Glamorous of attires.
only to get catcalled and railed for 700,000 gil. Fuck, damn, that much? I must have been in the wrong profession. And at times where you don't worry about gil, you're performing things like fates, socializing, farming for mounts, rerunning older content, G-posing, and fucking. Not that kind. This kind. Well, you're most likely getting fucked in that way anyways. Welcome to PvP. This is rank, baby. You die in game, you die in real life. Round 2, baby. They never expect to come back. I may be low income, but I will never be low income. Well, there isn't really anything to talk about when it comes to PvP, unless you want to get that
Fortnite Battle Pass. I just shit out my ass, booted up my PC, cause I need to get that Fortnite Battle Pass.
And now, it is time to stop. There is a lot of shit to talk about in this game. So much stuff to do, to mess around in, and explore. So many new people to meet and spend time with. Many jobs to master, and many tasks to fulfill, like relics and instanced areas. And of course, many catgirls to fill. And with the many hours under my belt, experiencing the drama and the raids, but most importantly, why this game can be named Final Fantasy XIV. Yep, I can safely say that this really is Final Fantasy XIV.